Hello, friend. I'm so excited to be with you here again today, and thank you for joining me. I am Obaji Agbiji, and I am a marriage counselor. I'm myself married for more than 22 years, and I've been involved in counseling couples, singles, and persons preparing for marriage and answering marriage questions. And what I've discovered, which has motivated me to bring this moment of conversation with you about myths about marriage, is that people go into marriage with different kinds of ideas. And a great deal of marriages failing today are based on these misconceptions of what marriage is all about. The first I would like to share with you is about marrying a person that is made. You know, some ladies, when you interact with them, you hear them say, "Oh, that guy is loaded. I want to marry somebody that is made. I don't want to go and have a difficult life. You don't see how my skin looks. I want a beautiful life. I was born in suffering in my father's home, in my mother's home, and I can't live that way of life anymore. Every guy that is reaching out to me, I'm cross-checking what is in their bank account, what they achieved, and if you are not well loaded, you are not in my consideration." Well, that is wrong-headed, my friend. You don't need to really marry a person that is made, because it comes with a lot of problems. I have interacted and gotten into a counseling encounter with a couple of persons, a number of persons, I would say, who marry people that were made. And their clear expressions to me was they made a bad mistake. They had a chance to marry again. They will never marry a person that is made. Because as you go in with your suitcase, if anything happens to that marriage, you will walk away also with your suitcase. You were not a part of the investment to building the house or buying the home. You're not a part of the investment in anything whatsoever. Everything was set before you moved in there. I want you to understand that there is a uniqueness and a bonding that comes along when people come together with potentials. It would be a better idea to marry people with potentials, people that you can still contribute in the process. You have hands, you have an intellect, you are smart enough. Why would you want everything to be said before you get involved with somebody? That is not a smart move. Get involved with somebody who has potentials. In considering who to marry, look out for potentials. Is the guy smart? Are there prospects? Yes, he has achieved something, but what more lies ahead to be achieved? If there's no potential, don't give a consideration to that. But if there's a potential, let's look out for it. Some of us, and quite a number of us, if people were waiting for people who were made before marrying, we would not be married. But today our spouses are excited that they found potentials in us and they made their own contribution. And today, even if there is a challenge, you know that we have toiled together. We have journeyed together. We've come a long way. And I wanted to know your spouse will celebrate you and appreciate you the more. If you met him at a certain point of his life, that your joining partnership with him in marriage turn out to become a great resourcefulness and blessing to him. That is number one myth about marriage that is false. Number two is that healthy marriages are conflict free. Healthy marriages are conflict free. There is no such thing on earth as a marriage that is conflict free, and that qualifies as a healthy marriage. Healthy marriages have conflicts, but in having conflicts, the man and the woman put their heads together, humble themselves, admit their faults, say sorry where they should say sorry, learn from their mistakes, and try to resolve their conflicts amicably, listening to each other, not just scoring points and winning the argument, but stating your own case with every level of humility and sincerity and openness, but listening to the other also. Not reading into the intentions, the motives, but asking questions. Why has this happened? Why are these things happening with us? Let's sit down and talk. I want to assure you that healthy marriages are marriages where conflict is possible, and often in such marriages, conflict occurs at different times and seasons of that relationship. But the partners are mindful that it is not about the person, it's about the issue that should be discussed. And there should be resolution as quickly as possible. Number 3, there is a myth that people believe that you can only fall in love once in a lifetime. That is funny, isn't it? You can only fall in love once in a lifetime. But that is not true in actual fact. Time and time again, I've met with individuals who were crazy in love with their spouses. When the spouses departed by death, or the marriages broke for whatever reasons, they still found love somewhere. And sometimes some of them even say they've never fallen in love with somebody like that before. I am saying time and time again, I've encountered such individuals who have discussed. I used to also think that you fall in love once in a lifetime. But the testimonies and the stories and the experiences of people has brought it very clearly to me that no, individuals can fall in love again and again. Another myth is that your spouse completes you. Your spouse completes you. No, friend. Your spouse does not complete you. You are complete in yourself. If you're getting into marriage to find somebody that will complete you, you may be totally disappointed. If you're not happy in yourself and you think some other person will bring you happiness, you may be terribly mistaken. I want you to understand that you are complete in yourself. And if for any reason you feel incomplete in yourself, walk it through, walk it out until you are complete. In fact, my advice to you will be for you to pay diligence to completing that project. Make yourself complete. No man wants to marry a woman that is not complete in herself. No woman wants to marry a man that is not complete in himself, waiting for a woman to come and complete it. Can you imagine that kind of crisis? You are married to find somebody to complete you, and somebody is marrying you to find you to complete. That doesn't work right. That is a myth. That is not true. And anyone who holds to that and gets married may be headed for a big crisis. Another myth is that living together can test if the marriage will be successful. Living together, cohabiting in other words, is an opportunity to test if the marriage will be successful. Cohabitation is a very bad idea. In many instances I am aware of, people that cohabited didn't make good marriages. There are few cases that went through very well, but majority of the cases didn't work well. Why? If it's not marriage, it's not marriage. So people cohabit and think that everything is good enough to go. But then after they get married, they discover the person in a different light entirely. Why? Because when you are not married, you are not married. no matter how close you may be, no matter how much you think you understand yourselves. There are basic things to show a person that you can rightly live with. It's not a matter of cohabitation. Cohabitation is not a true test of a marriage that will be workable or a marriage that will not be workable. A better test of what is possible to work well in marriage is somebody that understands you and you understand. Is a person that is a friend in the real sense of the word. That you are free to share everything. You are your very good self. You have enough oxygen when you are with that person to become a better person. You are in your element when you are in the presence of that person. It doesn't gag you down. You speak your mind very freely. You share a lot of values together. You share a lot of ideals together. You have similar dreams and postures of life. These are better evidences of one that could be a possible spouse, that could make a good spouse for you in marriage. Another myth is that you marry a person and change him or her to be what you want. You marry a person to change the person to be what you want. Greatly mistaken. You have little chances of changing anybody because you are not God. When you marry a person, in other words, you have endorsed what that person is. And when you begin to agitate about the weaknesses of that individual, the individual could possibly say, but you knew who I was. So what's the point? What are you complaining about? These are the exact words I've heard from individuals who are married and the other spouse married the other to change the person. Maybe the person is laid back and you think marrying the person will ginger the person. Maybe the person is nonchalant and you think marrying the person will awaken the person. Maybe the person is stingy and you think marrying the person will teach the person to be giving. It is so difficult, friend. Very, very difficult. Anybody that is laid back is laid back. Anybody that is stingy is stingy. What at best it can do for you is to make you a little bit stingy when you're very, very liberal and easygoing. Don't marry anybody for the purpose of changing the person or connect people to get married to make a man more responsible through that woman that is responsible. That's how some women have been cornered or cajoled to get married, to fix somebody who does not have the right way of life. They end up frustrating that precious, beautiful lady with an irresponsible guy. When people are connecting you to people, be mindful to cross-check to know why they are doing that. A mother wanting to marry his son by all means. A father wanting to marry his daughter by all means. Begin to interrogate. For what reason? If he tells you, I want my son to become a better person because I see that you're a great lady, run far away from that. So these are the myths I have shared with you today. There are a lot more myths, but I think these ones are very pertinent for you to consider. I hope to hold other marriage discussions and I look forward to having you with me. Look out for me. I will also continue to look out for you. Thank you and God bless you.